everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Issue 2 of Sonic the Hedgehog, Imposter Syndrome. Now, Imposter Syndrome is a new sort of series that's meant to cover starline's experiments, which consists of Scourge and Kitsumi, who are meant to be counterparts and clones to Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails the Fox. Now, Scourge is meant to be more brash, arrogant, cocky, and hot-headed, and Kitsumi is meant to be more timid, weak, but more of a sort of stooge. And the cover has Kitsumi using his water abilities, while Tails looks on in shock. And the issue starts off with Starline talking about the recent things that have happened, and even talking about how he managed to get into the egg net and plans to take another one of Eggman's bases for his control. And even says that there's going to be no second chances if this fails. We see Scourge saying, You look like you're about to pop a blood vessel, Doc. Kitsumi, mop. Yes, sir. We will enter on the south end. I will infiltrate the resting control tower, upload the command program. And we kind of see if they plan it out, and we see how he plans to have Scourge as well as Kitsumi cause more of a distraction. And we kind of see how Kitsumi gets more annoyed that he's going to be babysitted by Kitsumi, I mean. And Kitsumi says, That's right, she's the hero. Should have an important job. Huh, nobody was talking to you, Grippy. Sorry. Why are you objecting now? This is what you wanted, remember? Yeah, and no. And we see how they go in full speed, and of course, they go their separate ways. And of course, we see how, because of Scourge's arrogance and hot-headedness, ends up destroying other badniks and saying, Give me an escort mission! We're not supposed to raise any alarms. They can't make a fuss if they're dust. But Dr. Starline ordered where he ain't the boss of me. He's the tech support. And the idea guy. And the idea are a dozen. It's dime a dozen. And of course, as we see how Scourge is so hot-headed, she doesn't really listen to anyone but her own voice. And we see how Starline manages to infiltrate the place. And we see how he enters Eggman's man cave and decide to take a little small detour. And we see how they make it up to find the tower and plans to knock it down. But of course, they end up getting infiltrated by one of Eggman's giant god robots. And we see Scourge saying, I take it all back! You do the boring nerd stuff. I'll provide cover. Yes, ma'am. This way, I don't want distracting the kids. And of course, this is where Scourge ends up getting cornered, and this is where she starts to get more furious, saying, Get it together, Scourge! Sonic would be running rings around this guy! You're better than him! And of course, ends up bashing down the robot, and Kitsumi tries to dismantle the tower, and tries to get back to Scourge in time. And we kind of see how Scourge manages to crash down the robot, but of course, ends up getting crushed. And we see how Starline gets amazed by Eggman's robots and hoping that he comes back to him, thinking that he's the one who should be leading command. And of course, we see how Kitsumi says, Get back! And of course, ends up going full rage mode and says, Get away from her! And bashes the robot. We see how he tries to find Surge, saying, Surge, don't move, you're not hurt at all? I was. Hold that thought. And of course, bashes down the robot again, and this time permanently slagging it and leaving it in dust, and says, That's what you get. See what happens when you mess with the best? Ma'am? What? The fight. Oh, the others. And we see how it's just like they're about to get ready, but turns like Starline is able to control them now and got the tower under his command and wants them to join the command room. We see how Surge is pretty much amazed their plan worked. And we see how starline says, "Top marks for every run. My override program is a success. No alarms were triggered. The plan went flawlessly. We may now finally begin my master plan. After a robo change, what happened to you?" "Well, Surge was a little careless, so sue me. The kid was a big help. It's all good, Doc." And because we kind of see how Surge and that kind of make it not a big deal, but it turns out that Kitsumi is wondered why she didn't get killed by that robot fight. And of course, they kind of figure that there's more truths going on, and starline is going to pay for what he's done to them, and wants to kind of make it their personal mission to make his life a living hell. And the next cover will have starline battling Metal Sonic with Dr. Eggman. And yeah, this is the story. So I think this issue is not too bad. It kind of shows you what Kitsumi can be at his full potential, and showing that Surge is a dangerous loose cannon if left unchecked. And it's kind of clear that starline's plan is obviously going to fail, much like most of Eggman's plans. So I think it definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.